Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I really appreciate getting the offer from Sally to come to speak to this group. I think supplier diversity is very, very important. I'm on the LV EDC board, so supplier diversity I think is extremely important for PPL, but I think for the other local businesses, as is small business development, is very, very important to us in the Lehigh Valley. Just a little bit about, just to give you a context about our business. So again, as Sally mentioned, we serve 1.4 million electric customers. When I started at PPL, we invested on an annual basis something short of about $300 million. And while that sounds like a lot of money, just to tell you where we are right now this year, we'll invest about $1.2 billion. The reason for that is that we have a lot of electric infrastructure out there that was built in the 40s and 50s and even 60s that need to be upgraded, some replaced, etc. As a result, we're an organization of about 2,000 people, but in order to get all that work done, we've had to add quite a number of outside vendors to help us get all this work done. And this goes from everything from we have vendors that do our cleaning, local maintenance, to engineering, building, trimming trees, all sorts of things. So we have really had to rely on the vendor network for us to be successful in this, the last few years and next couple of years efforts. Now, the good news is that all this work, we just recently found out that we were actually in the top 10% when we take a look at comparing our electric reliability to other national companies. So we were actually number 6 out of 96 utilities in the United States. So the investment we're making is having the intended impact. And hopefully, if you live in our service territory, you're seeing that impact. So for us to be successful during this period, it's critically important that we have great relationships with great vendors. Just talking about diversity, it's my personal belief that for companies to be successful right now in the current as well as the future, companies really need to leverage diversity. And I'll give you an example, some real life examples, some a couple of years ago, some just today, about the power of diversity. So we have had something called Innovation Lab. So innovation, creativity, innovation is going to be very important for all companies. So we actually put together a lab where we would have innovation sessions. And so we ran a whole slew, and we went back and said, so which are the ones that were really successful and which ones, maybe not so much? And can we compare and contrast as to why that was the case? And what it turned out, the data was very clear that those, if we got a group of folks that were all experts and said, hey, solve this problem in their area of expertise, we got a pretty good solution. But if we got a group with maybe one expert, but the rest of them not from that technical background, having different perspectives, that's where we got the great ideas. And it's because of that diversity of thought, approach, experience, etc., that really drove these fantastic results. I just had a meeting right before I came here. And I've been pushing this one group to be able to, not to get into minutiae, but we have something called relays, and they're very manual, how you set them up. And I said, we ought to be able to automate those relays. And so the leader of that group has been trying to get folks to figure out a way to do that, using those that have been very much tied to that area of the business. He ended up getting somebody from outside that area of the business, and within a month came up with a solution. So for me, that's the power. If you can really leverage diversity within your organization, corporation, you can get fantastic results. So when I apply that to the vendor space, I'm looking to leverage that same type of creativity, diversity of thought and approach that I'm looking for within my own organization, but I can get it also from the vendor organization. So For me, it's critically important. That's why we do have a supplier diversity program. We started up a couple years ago. As Sally mentioned, we have an event December 6th. This will be our third event where we ask for vendors to come in. We make a presentation about what our needs are going to be, what we're looking for as far as services are concerned, and really open it up for questions as well as face-to-face discussions with our folks about what our needs are going to be. But for me, it's not only a, hey, this is something that we should do from a moralistic point of view, from a business results point of view. I really think this is key to not only our success, but other companies' success. So for me, our commitment to supplier diversity as well as diversity within our own workforce and organization is a current and will be an absolutely future full commitment of the organization. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to this group. I'd like to hear the presentations and discussions. I'll be available afterwards as well. But I also, as a plug our December 6th event, right, Dave? So I'll use that opportunity. But again, thank you very much, Sally, for the opportunity. Yep.